Hello, welcome once again. This is Arvin Alonso demonstrating to you application tools. Particularly, I would like to demonstrate how to prepare an audit report using Microsoft Excel or any spreadsheet software for that matter, like Google Sheet and the WPS counterpart for Microsoft Excel. So here, assuming that you are an auditor of one of the companies or an agency for that matter, and you would like to present your audit report to the board of directors or the top management of the company that you audited. So in order to have a smooth flow of how you present the audit report, here's one way to prepare it using Microsoft Excel. So in this workbook, I already prepared some values and some of the tables needed. So I have here the statement of operations, for example, for the year ended 2020 with comparative figure of December 2020. For the purpose of looking into whether there's an increase or decrease in every area of the operation. Okay, we also have here the statement of financial condition. Okay, and looking into our assets, liabilities, and equities. Again, comparing it with the 2020 with 2020 and 2019. The past or previous year. And we also look into the percentage of increase or decrease. Then the next worksheets are actually the notes for every item. Say for example, under cash and cash equivalents, so the source of the operation is from the regular fund, special fund, and consumer fund. So I get the total of the three. That's the, for example, the petty cash fund for 2020, the cash in bank for 2020, and I enter the values here. So under 2020, we make use of formula. I made use of the plus operator here, but you can make use of the function sum, close and open parenthesis B5 colon C5. So inside the close and open parenthesis is the first cell, and after the colon is the last cell. Okay, I also have the total in every fund. So I also have the loans receivable here under the regular fund, special fund, and consumer, and I get the total also for every item or source of loans. Okay, so we have here, again, this is a formula. Then I enter the value for 2019. Of course, if you have other worksheet for 2019, you can just specify the cell address or the workbook as the source of this, so that you will not enter anymore. That if you already have the previous year statement of financial condition, statement of operation. So we have the inventory here. Under non-current liability assets, I should say, we have other funds and deposits, property and equipment, and financing costs. Again, I have this one up to the expenses. Now, in this area, what I did here, for example, under the total of cash and cash equivalents, I named this cell to be N4 2020. To name the cell, you just click on the cell and then click on this. For example, you would like to name this the total for regular fund, then click on the total value and then name it here. For example, CCE underscore RF. So that when you would like to utilize this one later on in your other worksheet, you just call the name of the cell. So instead of using the default value C7, so you can have this one, CCE underscore SF or CCE underscore consumer or C. Okay. So here I named all of this N4 2020, N4 2019, N5 2020, and 5 2019. Why I'm using N5? Because here I started with 4 as note number, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on and so forth. Okay. So for example, here the financing cost for expenses under financing cost is 523, N21, because I'll be using this one for my notes in financing cost for the statement of operations. So take note, if you want to make modifications to the specified or defined names, you just go to formulas and click on name manager. All of the cells or range of cells that you have defined are available here. You can rename it here, you can edit, delete, or add new names. Okay, say for example, I have administrative cost expense as my label, which is found in expense A3818. If you would like to change, for example, the name of this, you just click on edit and then make necessary changes. Administrative cost expense, or example underscore expense. So it has been renamed. Now if you would like to remove a certain defined name here, then you just click the defined name and click on delete. Okay, so that's the purpose of the name manager. Another option is if you would like to define a name using this one. Say for example, under administrative costs, I would like to name this one. I can go to define name. Okay, will I use gross income? Perhaps I can use gross income regular fund, RF. So I have here gross income RF. Then you go here, define name, gross income SF for special fund, and so on and so forth. So there are two ways, or you can name it directly in the name box. Gross income consumer. Now, let's go to statement of financial condition. Assuming that you're already prepared all of these values tables. By the way, I also named this one cash EQ, loans RV, merchandise inventory, other current. Why? Because I'll be using those for my link. For example, for note number 4, I have here, I can make use of that defined name, cash and cash equivalent. Okay, for note number 10, for example, financial asset at cost, I'll create a link going to that area, financial asset at cost, FA cost. And then for 11, trade and other payables, Control K for hyperlink. I'll look for the name of trade and other payables. Trade and other payables. For 12, Control K, what's the name for this? Let us just check the name. That is under current liabilities. deposit liabilities. Okay, so it's actually DPL, but the name here is time deposit. So Control K, DPL, deposit liabilities. For 13A, patronage refund payable, Control K. For hyperlink, patronage refund, P. Let us just check the label for our current liabilities. Patronage refund is PA NITS. So, Control K. We will lead it there. Control K, we will be using the same defined name, PA, and so on and so forth. So say for example, you can also have the hyperlink for this, Control K. It should go to the interest income on credit operation. Interest income from loans operation. Control K, interest income from consumer operation. Okay, then you continue. Now, say for example, you would like to have the value for this. So, equals N18, because I made use of the number for notes, N18, and there are already two choices remaining. So since this is under 2020, I will make use of this, and then enter. Okay, if you encounter this symbol, the column width doesn't fit the value. So equals N18 2019, double click and then enter. So here we have equals N19 2020, double click, equals N19 2019. So you notice that the values are now being changed in the increase and decrease. By the way, if you don't like to see the div 0 while there are no values yet in this area, it's so easy to do it. What you need to do is you just include another function here. If F for example, F2, F10 is less than 0, no value to be displayed. Otherwise, if it's 0 or greater, then it will make the computation. Oh, there's a mistake. No, we will not be using this one. I'll be using D. If D10 is still blank, D10, this is D10. Now, we cannot make use of D10 because this has been defined, D10, this is D10. So if D10 is blank, then it should be a blank value, equals. So Control C, paste it there. So you notice that the div 0 has already been removed. Okay, the same as true with this. If there are no values yet under 2020, then this will display a div0 value. So that's how you can remove that one. So this is N 2020. Control K. It should go to other income. Other income. What's the name of the other income here? Let us check on the revenue. We did not place a name yet, so we will change the name OTHIN. So under SOP, Control K, OTHIN. Then we will call the value here N20 for 2020 equals N19 2019 equals N21 2020 equals N21 2019. Okay, equals N22 then equals N22 2020. So we now have we called a wrong value here. It should be 2019. So you already have the values in all. So you just create a hyperlink here. It should go to financing cost. So financing cost is here. Financing cost expense. For administrative cost, Control K for hyperlink, administrative cost expense. Now if you are done, then you will have this ready for your presentation. By the way, how was this distribution of net surplus be? In a cooperative Philippine setting, you should have a reserve fund which is 10%. You should have to allocate a fund for education and training, 5% for local and 5% for APEX. You need to have community development fund for your outreach program, optional fund, and then you need to have the distribution, 35% of which should go to the interest on share capital of every member and patronage fund based on the share capital of every member. So this means to say that only 70% will be distributed among the members, while the 30% should be allocated on these funds. So what's the formula? The formula is this. D18, what is D18? The net surplus times C20, which is 10%. Take note, I made use of $18 there, so that when I will copy this one and paste it here, automatically the cell address will still be 18. Okay, the same as true with this. So now if you are ready and all of the links are done, you are ready to present this audit report. So if I am the auditor and I will present this one to the board of directors or the top managers of the agency where I did the audit, I can say, for example, so here is the statement of operation for the year ended 2020 with the comparative figure of December 2019. So this column will be for the 2020 values. We also have the column for 2019, and we would like to see the increase decrease of our operation and its percentage. So here we have the interest income from our loans operation or credit operation. And we have an amount of 3 million plus. Now, if to check on the interest income for credit operation, let me lead you to note number 18. So you can just click this one. So it will lead you to this area. Now, what should you do if you would like to go back there? This is the time that you're going to insert, for example, a shape. I will make use of an arrow. This one, I will place it here. Right click, edit text, back. Where should it go back? Put a hyperlink. It should go back to SOP. Is it a cell reference? Statement of operation. Okay, let's check whether this is working. I'll click on this. It goes back to the statement of operation. Okay, so this one, the back there is under revenues. I'll just copy this one and paste it under expense because it will go to the same worksheet which is the statement of operation. You do the same with this. Insert shape. I will make use of this back arrow. I'll place it here, and then right click, edit text. You can have back to SFC if you want to have that label. Back to SFC. Okay, so we have that one. Let me resize that one. And then this button will just be the same with non-current assets up to your statutory fund. So you just need to paste it there. Up to this one. Control V. Paste it here. Oh, there are multiple selections. So just continue with that. So that when you are presenting, say for example, let me lead you to note number 4. So you see this one, cash and cash equivalent. Then you just need to, there's no hyperlink it yet, so we'll put a hyperlink on this area, place in this document, and that should be under the cell reference SFC. Okay, before you copy, you need to have the hyperlink. So Control C, paste it under this one. Control V. Just need to move it here, put it in under current liabilities, continue with this area, put it in this area, share capital, and then statutory fund. These arrows should be lead you back to the statement of financial condition. Okay? So while these arrows for revenues and expense should lead you to statement of operations. Now, if you would like to have another sheet for a link to SOP and SFC, then it is better. So with this kind of workbook, an audit report that you prepare, your presentation of the audit report for a certain company would be more organized, and you will have a smooth flow presentation because all of the notes are linked to other sheets for better view, instead of printing all of these documents and give it individually to the people in the top management or to the board of directors or to your audience while you are presenting the audited report. So I hope you learned something new in this presentation, especially those in the accounting field. God bless everyone.